Hello everyone and welcome to Mission APSC AEJ. So আজিৰ লেকচাৰটোত আমি তোমালোকৰ লগত কিছুমান ইয়াতে কাৰেন্ট এফেয়াৰ্স ডিসকাস কৰিবলৈ গৈ আছো 2025 ৰ খুবেই ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট যিবিলাক হ'ব পাৰে তোমালোকৰ আপকামিং এসিস্টেন্ট ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰ এক্সামিনেশন ওয়াটাৰ ৰিসোৰ্স ডিপাৰ্টমেন্টৰ ৰাইট প্ৰাইমাৰীলি আৰু তাৰ লগতে তোমালোকৰ যি কোনো ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং ৰিলেটেড এক্সামিনেশন যত নেকি জিএছ ৰ পেপাৰখন থাকে ৰাইট আজিকালি কাৰেন্ট এফেয়াৰ বহুত বেছি ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট হৈ পৰিছে যি কোনো আমাৰ জিএছ পেপাৰ ওৰিয়েন্টেড পেপাৰখনৰ কাৰণে ৰাইট ওকে So, upcoming tomorrow PWD JEE exam, tar logote water resources JEE exam, right? Okay. So, hekhini karone khub beshi important hobo pare, right? So, let's start the class. Okay. So, prothom topic to hoise yate tomar S400 Triumph missile system. Jehetu ami jetia tomorrow engineering examination kotha ko, tate science and tech or question hodai olop beshi koi hodar chances thake, right? Aru tar logote tomar this whole topic is related with the whole defense technology. Right? আৰু তাৰ লগতে এটা বস্তু মন কৰিবা যেতিয়াৰ পৰা আমাৰ তোমাৰ পেহেলগামৰ এটেক হৈছিল আৰু তাৰ পিছত দি ফলো আপ অফ দি হোল সিন্দুৰ অপাৰেশন ৰাইট অপাৰেশন সিন্দুৰ তাৰ পিছত তোমাৰ এই গোটেই ট্ৰাইম্ফ মিসাইল সিস্টেমটো তোমাৰ নিউজত আছিল ওকে সো ট্ৰাইম্ফ মিসাইল সিস্টেম ইজ এ পাৰ্ট অফ ইণ্ডিয়াজ এয়াৰ ডিফেন্স সিস্টেম এটা এয়াৰ ডিফেন্স সিস্টেম মানে কি আমাৰ ইয়াতে যদি কিছুমান ৰকেট তোমাৰ বাহিৰৰ যিমান বিলাক ফৰেন এন্টিটি থাকে তেওঁলোকে আমাৰ তাত যদি তোমাৰ টাৰ্গেট কৰি কিনে পঠায় In that sense, tomar ki hoy, amar air defense system jiman bilak ase, teoloke he bilak tomar in the midway try to neutralize them and they protect us in every possible way. Okay, right? So enegua kisuman jibilak tomar yate upkoron ase. So these are basically the S400 Triumph missile. So ba kakhor photo khonot tomar yate dekhai diboloi try koriso. Okay, so it is basically tomar ki eta surface to air missile system, which is roughly tomar somukoi ki buli ko ami yate SAM missile buli ko in abbreviation it is called as a SAM missile system surface to air missile so yata tomalogo mon koriba yar pora ei bilak jibila barrel ase yar pora tomar missile bilak olai goi kine fire hoy okay so range kiman hoy roughly tomar yate 400 km roughly 400 km right S400 Triumph missile an altitude of up to tomar 30 km okay high 30 km la goi kine ki koribo pare tomar jiman bilak tomar amar against ha missile ase that can be neutralized by them okay so 5 units have been imported from the Russia right so first unit of the S400 deployed in Punjab to defense against the Pakistan here okay so Punjab dia tomar deploy kora hoise jate ami ki Pakistanor incoming rockets bilak ba tomar air launches bilak ami ki koribo paru yate neutralize koribo paru hoine right so it is considered much ahead of the US developed tomar terminal high altitude area defense system so US based tomar yate ki ase anti missile tomar air defense system that is called as the terminal high altitude area defense system also tomar it is called as the THAAD okay so the system can engage all types of aerial targets including tomar aircraft tar logote tomar unmanned aerial vehicles basically the drones here okay UAV and the ballistic and cruise missiles here right so ballistic missile cruise missile tar logote drone right aircraft so everything that can possibly harm through the airways that can be targeted by the S400 Triumph missile system tomalogor paper khudibo pare question S400 Triumph missile system ami konkhon country pora loiso which of the following country from we have procured the S400 Triumph missile in that sense your answer should be what the Russia here okay so because of the effectiveness of the S400 Triumph missile system it is also known as the Sudarshan Chakra okay he karone ami ei naam to ki boli ko tomar naam eta dia hoise Sudarshan Chakra boli okay right so next move on to the next topic here right which is called as the persona non grata right so ei topic to tomar directly kono dhonor enuka current affairs related topic nohoy jehetu tomar May mahot khub newsot asile ei topic to right after the whole follow of the Pahalgam terror attack right tar logote tomar operation sindur right tar karone ki hoise tomar persona non grata to khub newsot asile right so yare basically tomaloko khudibo pare exam je persona non grata main actual meaning to ki hoy okay right so latin yar tomar ki hoy the unwelcome people right jodi konoba ejon tomalor khorot jodi alohi ahise right hejon jodi tumi nibichara in that sense it is called as the persona non grata so in diplomacy it means a country officially declares a foreign diplomat or person as a banned or expelled so in diplomacy ami ki koro jetia konoba ekhon belek country delegates bilak amar country ami nibicharo thokato in that sense ami ei jonto word ase etu use koro Okay, basically it is a Latin word hoy, right? So once declared, the person must leave the country within a reasonable time, right? Jonto amar Pakistaner logot jonto amar condition hoi asile. In that sense ami ki koisilu je apunaloke amar country eribo lage, right? So defined under the 1961 Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relation, Article 9. So Article 9 tomar 1961 Vienna Convention on 8 bostu tomar define kora ase. Okay? So after the 𝐴𝒊𝒔𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍 terror attack, that India downgraded the diplomatic ties with the Pakistan. So Pakistan logot jonto amar diplomatic tie ase, right? So that has been downgraded by the India. Okay? So India ki korisile tomar yate India suspended the Indus Water Treaty. Tar logote expelled the Pakistani military and naval and air advisors from the New Delhi, right? Tar logote official term for expulsion was the India declares Pakistani military advisors persona non grata. Je apunaloke amar country khon eri jaok. You should leave our country within a stipulated amount of time. Okay? Right? I believe tomorrow pariba exam holo jodi question hai yate, right? So the next topic is the new frog species has been discovered, right? So last month এই topic to tomorrow খুব news asile. Okay? So the study has put the spotlight on the 𝐀𝐏𝒔𝒂 Reserve Forest, a biodiversity hotspot that has been threatened by urban sprawl and habitat destruction. So 𝐀𝐏𝒔𝒂 Reserve Forest ক'ত আছে আমাৰ গুৱাহাটীৰ কাষতে আছে, right? যেতিয়া আমি দেখা পাইছো যে গুৱাহাটী চহৰখন তোমাৰ বাঢ়ি গৈ আছে. Our whole Guwahati city has been sprawling বা urban sprawling আমি দেখা পাইছো. We've been observing the urban sprawl phenomenon in the Guwahati. Tar logote ki hoise tomar forest area bilak decline hoi goi ase, right? Okay? So on the edge of the Guwahati, the scientists have discovered a stunning new frog species called as the 𝐴𝒊𝒔𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒐𝒏 𝑨𝑷𝑺𝑪 in 𝐀𝐏𝒔𝒂 forest. Okay? So 𝐴𝒊𝒔𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒐𝒏 𝑨𝑷𝑺𝑪 number এই যোনটো তোমাৰ frogৰ species মানে ভেকুলীৰ এটা তোমাৰ প্ৰজাতি হেতু তোমাৰ ইয়াতে তোমাৰ কি কৰিছে ডিস্কভাৰ কৰা হৈছে, right? Now the question arises, এই নামটো কৰ পৰা পৰিলে হয়নে? So name this the 𝐴𝒊𝒔𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒐𝒏 𝑨𝑷𝑺𝑪 after the 𝐅𝐴 College by its alumni scientists. So this is to find a tribute to knowledge, nature, and the nostalgia. Okay? So it stood out of its fairy orange and black eyes. So yate tomaloke saba ei চকুটো তোমালোকে চোৱা ইয়াতে orange color আৰু black color তোমাৰ ইয়াতে mix up আছে, right? Okay? Unique reticulated throat pattern and a smooth and rhythmic quality dust. So ৰাতিপুৱা এটা তোমাৰ ভাল মাত ওলায় এই তোমাৰ ভেকুলীটোৱে. Okay? So next topic হৈছে তোমাৰ ইয়াতে ISRO Center in Assam, right? So ISRO Center in Assam বুলি ক'লে তোমালোকৰ examত question কেনেকুৱা সুধিব পাৰে, right? So the location can be asked in your exam, right? So in which of the following location the whole project NETRA has been initiated by established, right? Okay? So the land কৰ পৰা পালে বুলি সুধিব পাৰে, from where the land has been procured for the whole operations here, right? So ISRO Center in Assam ক'ত আছে? The network for the space object tracking and the analysis. So NETRA is a তোমাৰ এনেকুৱা এটা institution বা এটা তোমাৰ establishment বহোৱা হ'ব ক'ত তোমাৰ in the Chandrapur of Assam, right? So what will this whole establishment do, right? It will tackle the whole phenomenon of the space debris বা তোমাৰ space junk যিমান বিলাক আছে যোনে নেকি তোমাৰ potentially আমাৰ satellite বিলাক harm কৰিব পাৰে, right? Those which can potentially harm our satellites. Okay? So it will try to detect those and try to take some prohibitionary measure to prevent the whole destruction of our satellites and all the injuries that can happen. Okay? To track space debris, satellites, and potential spaceborne threats affecting the India's space assets. So India যিমান বিলাক তোমাৰ space assets আছে সেইবিলাক যাতে ইয়াতে তোমাৰ destroy নহয়, right? So location ক'ত আছে তোমাৰ ইয়াতে Chandrapur of Assam on the 200 বিঘা land of a defunct thermal power plant. Okay? Right? আগতে এটা তোমাৰ চন্দ্ৰপুৰৰ ইয়াতে এটা তাপ বিদ্যুৎ প্ৰকল্প আছিলে thermal power plant, so which has been being a defunct and that whole land has been allotted for the project NETRA. Okay? So implementing agency obviously is the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. He is the chairperson of the ISRO here, right? Narayanan sir. Okay? So the government support and collaboration, right? State government of Assam is providing the logistical support here. Okay? So collaboration with the Ministry of Science and Technology also. Okay? Right? So I believe ইয়াৰ ওপৰত question হলে তোমালোকে কৰিব পাৰিবা exam হলত, right everyone? Okay? So the next topic is the GI tag for the Assamese jewelry here. Okay? So the Assamese jewelry, also known as the Ohomia Gohana, right, has received the geographical indication tag that is also called as the GI tag here, right? So GI tag was registered on the March 27, okay? এই বছৰ তোমাৰ মাৰ্চৰ 27 তাৰিখে এই GI tag টো তোমাৰ ৰেজিষ্টাৰ কৰা হৈছে, right? এটা এপ্লিকেশন কোনে দিছিলে বুলি যদি খুদে না which of the following entity have applied for the GI tag, right? The application for the GI tag was filed by the Gems and Jewelry Promotion Council of Assam, that is the JGPCA, okay, in the March of the 2022, okay? So roughly 3 years ago it has been filed, okay? So Assamese jewelry ki hoy tomar Assamese jewelry is a collection of traditional ornaments depicting the flora, fauna and musical instruments and cultural objects of the Assam, okay, handmade using the 22 karat gold or above and 92.5% of purity, and it uses the gold foils or gold leaves of 22 karat purity or higher here, okay, right? So the next topic is the India's response to the Pahalgam terror attack, right? Okay, so after the whole brutal killing in the Pahalgam terror attack, India has taken some civil measures, right? So questions can be asked in your exam. So which of the following steps have been taken by the India after the whole conflict with the Pakistan, right? Okay, so the Cabinet Committee on Security has finalized the 5-point action agenda against the Pakistan after Pahalgam terror attack, right? So a step gita bahut beshi important hobo pare, maybe statement based question can also be asked, and along with that tomar yate direct questions can also be asked. Preferably tomar yate assistant engineer exam ot statement based question hoda chances horai beshi thake, okay? So prothom tomar ki hoise suspension of the Indus Water Treaty, right? Indus Water Treaty jonto asile etu yate suspend kora hoise jiman bilak tomar ei nodi gita ase tomar yate, right? Indus, Jhelum aru Chenab ei nodi gita tomar yate pani to rokhai dia hoise, hoine, right? So kakhot moi yate photo khon disu tomaloke sai loba, okay? So India has suspended the Indus Water Treaty with Pakistan which governs the river water sharing, okay? Tar logote tomar closure of the Atari-Baga border checkpost, right? So that ki hoy tomar yate cross border movements of people and the goods cannot be happen, but tomar halt kora hoise, okay? Tar logote cancellation of the SAARC visa exemption scheme, right? So to tomar jar hohayot ni yate tomar Pakistani hokole visa paisile goi, so ni Indiat ahibo parisile SAARC visa exemption scheme under. So within 48 hours at that point of time, we are talking about the April month, okay, last phase of the April. So within 48 hours the whole Pakistani nationalists have been announced to leave India within the stipulated amount of time, okay? Tar logote tomar expulsion of the Pakistani military advisors jonto olop agote ami porichilu, that is the persona non grata here. So India has expelled all Pakistani military, naval and air advisors from the Pakistani High Commission in New Delhi here, okay? Tar logote tomar reduction of the diplomatic personnel. So India tomar ki korile nijor diplomatic staff Pakistan tomar 55 to 30 yate komai dile 55 tar pora 30 ta loge loi by the May 01, 2025, okay? May 1 tarikh loge, right? So the next topic is the 59th 𝐻𝐿𝐵 award, right? So I believe tomaloge ebilak question exam ot tomaloge expect koribo para award related jiman bilak question thake preferably tomar enekwa jibilak niki olop important award hoy, okay? Directly question hudibo pare ba tomar air novels bilak dikine statement based question hudibo pare. Horai tomaloge mon rakhiba statement based question koribor karone amount of knowledge that is needed is much more higher and olopman skill lage regarding the elimination technique here, okay? So Vinod Kumar Shukla, a poet and writer from the Raipur, Chhattisgarh, has been announced as the 59th জ্ঞানপীঠ award winner, okay? Yata tomar 59th জ্ঞানপীঠ award kak dile boli kolu moi, that is the Vinod Kumar Shukla from the Raipur of Chhattisgarh, right? He is the 12th Hindi writer and the first from the Chhattisgarh to receive this prestigious literary honor, okay, right? So to yata tomar Hindi writing or bitor tomar he is the 12th number and he is also from the first person from the Chhattisgarh here, okay, right? Teo yata ki important novels likhisile ba upanyas likhisile Hindit, right? Diwar mein ek khidki rehti thi, right? Tar logote tomar Naukar ki Kameez, right, which was later adopted as a film here, right? And after that the Khilaga to dekhenge, okay, right? And he is the Vinod Kumar Shukla here. So I believe tomalokor exam ot jodi etu upor question hole you should be able to readily give the answer here, okay, right? So অলপমান আমি এটা জ্ঞানপীঠ এৱাৰ্ডৰ বিষয়ে পঢ়িলো কি হয় ইয়াতে The জ্ঞানপীঠ Award is the India's highest literary honor here. So খুব এনেকুৱা দেখি তোমাৰ ইয়াতে জ্ঞানপীঠ Awardটো, right? ইয়াতে তোমাৰ কিছুমান ইয়াতে hand writing কিছুমান থাকে বা কিছুমান ইয়াতে তোমাৰ citations থাকে। Okay. It was instituted in the year 1961 by the Bharatiya Gyanpith Trust here. Okay. Right? 1961 এইটো তোমাৰ আৰম্ভ কৰা হৈছিল। তাৰ লগতে তোমাৰ it is bestowed upon any Indian citizen who writes in any 22 language of the India mentioned in 8th schedule here. So তোমালোকে জানা যে পলিটিত যদি পঢ়িছা যে 8th scheduleত আমাৰ কিমানটা ল্যাঙ্গুৱেজ থাকে roughly 22টা ল্যাঙ্গুৱেজ থাকে 22 languages are there, right? And any one of the person or Indian citizen who have given good amount of exemplary contribution regarding any one of the 22 languages mentioned in the 8th schedule here, right? He is eligible to contest বা he is eligible to get the Gyanpith Award here, right? So prior to the 1982, the award was only given for a single work by a writer. So আগতে কি হৈছিল তোমাৰ ইয়াতে খুব কিছু এখন কিতাপৰ কাৰণে তোমাৰ ইয়াতে Gyanpith Award দিয়া হৈছিল, right? But আজিকালি কি হয় তোমাৰ after the 1982, the award is given for the lifetime contribution to the Indian literature. Okay? যাৰ তোমাৰ এটা জীৱন জোৰা এটা অৱদান থাকে regarding any one of the languages in the Indian literature. He is given the Gyanpith Award here. Okay? So the Gyanpith Award includes তোমাৰ এটা কি থাকে a cash prize of roughly তোমাৰ 11 lakhs of rupees, তাৰ লগতে bronze statue of Saraswati, which is the goddess of learning, right? And a citation here. Okay? Right? So the next topic is the Torrenia guelparensis, right? So এইটো তোমাৰ যেনেকৈ নামটো পাইছা it is discovered in the Goalpara. Okay? So researchers from the Guwahati University discovered new flowering plant species in Goalpara. So আগৰটো কি আছিল তোমাৰ 𝐅𝐈𝐒𝐷𝐹 আছিল, right? Right? 𝐈𝐈𝐒𝐷𝐹 হেনেকৈ নামটো আছিল। Okay? So characteristics of the Torrenia guelparensis belongs to the Linderaceae family, right? Found flourishing in a fallow rice field, right? Relating to the Bonaya rheolodis, right? A significant medicinal herb known as the Kasidoriya bon in Assamese. Okay? Kasidoriya bonor logot এই প্ৰজাতিটো তোমাৰ related. Okay? So question তোমালোক কেনেকৈ হলিব? Which of the following plant have been recently discovered in Goalpara? Okay? So questions can be directly asked. বা তোমাৰ এই wordটো guelparensis wordটো নিদি কিনে অকল আগৰ wordটো দি কিনে question সুধিব পাৰে। Okay? So there are 69 species of Torrenia globally, right? Mainly found in Asia, South America, and the Africa here. Okay? Right? So the next topic is the Sunita Williams and others returned from the space. So last 1-2 মাহত তোমাৰ মাৰ্চ মাহত খুব এই বস্তুটো নিউজত আছিলে, right? So তোমালোক question সুধিব পাৰে, expected আছে, right? So ইয়াতে তোমালোকৰ statement based question সুধিব পাৰে আৰু তোমাৰ direct question সুধিব পাৰে, right? Okay? So Sunita Williams returned to Earth on the 18th of March in 2025, right? After a 9-month mission on the International Space Station. So 9 মাহৰ মূৰত তেওঁ এতিয়া ঘূৰি আহিছে। Okay? So she returned with the Butch Wilmore and another NASA astronaut, right? So Butch Wilmore আৰু এজন তোমাৰ ইয়াতে NASA astronaut হয় যাৰ লগত ইয়াতে Sunita Williams ঘূৰি আহিছে as a part of the Crew 9 mission on SpaceX's তোমাৰ ইয়াতে Dragon spacecraft. So ইয়াতে কোনখন spacecraft ঘূৰি আহিলে বুলি যদি তোমালোক question সোধে, that is the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. Okay? Crew 9 mission, right? So American astronaut তোমাৰ ইয়াতে Sunita Williams and the Butch Wilmore traveled to the International Space Station, right? In the June of 2024 and were supposed to return within a week. So June 2024 এওঁলোক ইয়াতে International Space Station লৈকে গৈছিলে, right? Sunita Williams and the Butch Wilmore, but তোমাৰ ইয়াতে কি হৈছিলে তেওঁলোকে এসপ্তাহৰ ভিতৰতে ইয়াতে ঘূৰি আহিবলগীয়া আছিলে, but because of some anomalies in their whole spacecraft they couldn't return, right? Their spacecraft, that is the Boeing Starliner, developed some technical problems, right, making it unsafe for their return. Okay? But Starliner returned to the Earth safely on the September 2024. Starliner ইয়াতে ঘূৰি আহিলে Boeing Starliner, right? তাৰপিছত কি হ'ল তোমাৰ they were remain stranded in the ISS and waiting for an alternative return arrangement. Okay? So SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft, which had taken 4 astronauts to the ISS on a routine assignment, will bring them back to the return journey. Okay? তেওঁলোকে ইয়াতে ঘূৰাই আনিব, right? And Williams and Wilmore returned after the 286 days in space. So তোমালোকে ইয়াতে statement based question সুধিব পাৰে, তেওঁলোক তোমাৰ ইয়াতে কেইদিনৰ মূৰত ঘূৰি আহিলে, right? So in that sense তোমাৰ answer কি হ'ব, that is the 286 কোনোবা এটা statement দি কিনে হ'ব যদি 286 নাথাকে in that sense তুমি সেই statement ইয়াতে eliminate কৰিব লাগিব okay right everyone but direct question would দিব পাৰে at least JEE level okay so the next topic is the operation Brahma here okay right so operation Brahma কি আছিল I believe তোমালোকে recently গম পাইছিলা যে মিয়ানমাৰত খুব এটা ডাঙৰ ভূমিকম্প হৈছিল right so তাৰ লগতে তোমাৰ এটা humanitarian assistance mission এটা ইয়াতে launch কৰিছিলে by the Indian government okay that is called as the operation Brahma here last তোমাৰ যেতিয়াৰ পৰা ইয়াতে অপাৰেশন অজয় ৰাইট তাৰ লগতে তোমাৰ অপাৰেশন দোস্ত টাৰ্কিৰ লগত যোনটো আছিল সো হেখিনিৰ পৰা খুব তোমাৰ অপাৰেশনৰ ওপৰত এপিএসসি কোৱেশ্চন সোধা গৈছে ৰাইট হেতু মই তোমালোকৰ এসিস্টেন্ট ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰ এক্সামিনেশন বা জুনিয়ৰ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰ এক্সামিনেশন দুটা কাৰণে কৰিছো ওকে সো ডাইৰেক্টলি কোৱেশ্চন সুধি দিয়ে যদি তুমি এটো পঢ়ি যোৱা সো ইজিলি 1-2 নম্বৰ তোমাৰ ইয়াতে বাঢ়ি যাবগে ওকে সো ইট ইজ হিউম্যানিটেৰিয়ান এসিস্টেন্স মিশন বাই দি ইন্ডিয়া ৰাইট টু এসিস্ট মিয়ানমাৰ where over 1600 people have died okay nearly tomar 1600 জন মানুহ ইয়াতে ঢুকাইছে and many were trapped in the debris due to the devastating 7.7 magnitude earthquake here so তোমালোকক যদি এটা statement based question দি কিনে কয় যে ইয়াতে অপাৰেশন ব্ৰহ্মা লঞ্চ কৰিছিল ইন্ডিয়া তাতে তোমাৰ এই ইয়াতে তোমাৰ ৰিচাৰ স্কেলৰ magnitude যদি হুদে so in that sense তুমি কি কবা the 7.7 magnitude right a large scale humanitarian mission has been sent by includes the rescue team right medical aid and the relief supplies okay the national disaster response force right which is the NDRF here deployed tomar 80 member team with machines like tomar ki concrete cutter drill machines plasma cutters and other rescue tools here okay ebilak loi kine teoloke eta ki koribo hoise rescue koribo hoise right so Indian Army has mobilized a specialized medical task force named tomar ki 𝐀𝐏𝐒𝐂 brigade medical responders to provide the urgent humanitarian assistance here okay so এই নামটো তোমালোকে মনত ৰাখিবা statement based question তোমালোকৰ খুদি দিব পাৰে okay so the two Indian naval ships তোমাৰ ইয়াতে INS Satpura and INS Savitri were dispatched carrying 40 tons of humanitarian aid to the port of Yangon here okay so তোমাৰ ইয়াতে INS Satpura and Savitri are also going for the humanitarian assistance here taking okay right so the next topic is the mosquito fish in Assam okay so the National Green Tribunal is addressing concerns over the release of 2 invasive alien fish species for the mosquito control here, right? So yate tomar ki kora hoise GMD ki korise recently, right? GMD ba GMC ki korise enoka tomar mosquito fish bilak release korise drain bilagot ba pond bilagot, okay? So niki tomar mosquito jiman bilak larva thake mohor ei bilak jate ei mas bilak tomar khai pelai, okay? Right? So etu eta ki hoy tomar by the National Green Tribunal it has been said as an invasive species jar niki tomar ki actual kon dhৰণৰ predator নাই আৰু আমাৰ যোনটো environment বা ecosystem হেতুৰ কাৰণে এওঁলোক কি হয় তোমাৰ এটা নতুন species হয় এই কাৰণে কিছুমান concern ইয়াতে arise হৈছে right so the name mosquito fish was given because the fish eats mosquito larva and has been used more than any other fishes for biological control of the mosquitoes here okay so ইয়াতে moth control কৰিবৰ কাৰণে এই fish বিলাক তোমাৰ কি কৰে water bodies বিলাক তোমাৰ release কৰা যায় okay so ইয়াতে তোমাৰ scientific name ki hoy Gambusia affinis right which is also called as the mosquito fish here right so here concern ki hoy these are highly invasive and could harm the local biodiversity here logote tomar mosquito fish and guppy fish were distributed across the Assam and other northeastern states okay also released in tomar ki Maharashtra Karnataka Punjab and Odisha and Kerala here okay right everyone so the next topic is the second capital of Assam so তোমালোকে I believe newsত চাগে খুব শুনি আছে যে আমাৰ second capital হিচাপত recently designate কৰা হৈছে ডিব্ৰুগড় চহৰখন right okay so তাৰ ওপৰত এই নিউজটো আছে okay so তোমালোকক ডাইৰেক্টলি কোৱেশ্চন সুধি দিব পাৰে যে second capital of Assam কোনখন চহৰ ইয়াতে designate কৰা হৈছে which of the following city has been recently designated as the second capital of Assam okay in that sense তোমালোকে কি কৰিবা you should mark the ডিব্ৰুগড় as the answer okay so the historic town of Dibrugarh was formally announced as the second city of Assam on the 7th March of 2024 with the formation of the Dibrugarh Municipal Corporation by dissolving the municipal board here okay so Dibrugarh Municipal Corporation ate form kora hoise the 76th Republic Day celebration were held at the Khonikor ground Dibrugarh right marking the first time the city hosted the central event here so amar rajyor jokhon tomar centrally Republic Day jonto celebrate kora hoisile kot celebrate korisile ei bosor tomar yate ডিব্ৰুগড়ত কৰা হৈছিলে ৰাইট চেন্ট্ৰেলি যোনটো আগতে তোমাৰ খানাপাৰা ভেটেৰিনেৰী ফিল্ডত হৈছিলে ৰাইট এভৰিৱান okay so Dibrugarh has been elevated to the state's second municipal corporation and the city will be developed as the Assam's second capital here okay তাতে তোমাৰ ইয়াতে legislative assembly বনোৱা হ'ব আৰু MLA hostel বনোৱা হ'ব এটো কত তোমাৰ কোৱা হৈছে in the Assam budget 2025-26 okay right so the next topic is the chief minister's জীৱন প্ৰেৰণা scheme এই স্কিমটো তোমাৰ অসম বাজেট 2025-26 তোমাৰ কি কৰা হৈছে ইয়াৰ বিষয়ে কোৱা গৈছে okay right so it supports the 2025 graduates from the Assam government's universities colleges transitioning to employment not as unemployment allowance but as the motivational aid for competitive exams or the interviews and the entrepreneurship okay so 2025 চনত তোমাৰ যিমান বিলাক এটা গ্ৰেজুৱেট কৰা লৰা ছোৱালী এটা ওলাব right so তেওঁলোকে এটা তোমাৰ এটা unemployment তোমাৰ ইয়াতে allowance নহয় but as a তোমাৰ motivational allowance এটা পে কৰা হ'ব motivational aid হিচাপত এটা তোমাৰ ইয়াতে পইচা এটা দিয়া হ'ব okay কিমান দিয়া হ'ব তোমাৰ এটা roughly 2500 monthly for up to 1 year and a one time grant of 25000 যদি একেবাৰতে লোৱা তুমি 25000 কৰ লব পাৰিবা আৰু যদি এই লৰা ছোৱালীজনে monthly লব খোজে in that sense they will be given 2500 rupees okay right so yate aru eta provision ase regarding the one time grants to the research scholars as well to jun bilak lora swale tumar yate phd kori ase teolok yate tumar eta one time grant prodan kora hobo kiman prodan kora hobo roughly tumar that is the rupees 25000 okay for the general researchers right and 50000 for the divyang researchers from state and central government universities okay right so yate 50000 tumar divyang researchers hokolok dibo so tumalok jodi yate statement based question of amount bilak khode right in that sense tumi ki koriba the whole higher amount is for the PWD candidates okay so the eligibility is restricted to the permanent Assam residents tar logote tumar exclude the past present and future nijut moina beneficiaries so nijut moina yate scheme eta aru naam ase right mukhyamantri nijut moina asoni jot niki tumar ki amar jiman bilak girl students ase tawlok yate tumar financial aid provide kore jate tumar child marriage kom koi hoy so hey scheme to jone jone itialeke avail korise তেওঁ এটা জীৱন প্ৰেৰণা স্কিমৰ আন্ডাৰত পইচা নাপায় okay so plan to launch on the October 2025 and budget is given around 25 crore so recently অসম বাজেটত এই বস্তু তোমাৰ লঞ্চ কৰা হৈছে right okay so আজিলৈকে এই ক্লাছটোত হিনি আছিল right so আহা ক্লাছ বিলাক আকৌ আমি লগ পাম until then তুমি আমাৰ চেনেলটো তোমালোকে লাইক শেয়াৰ এণ্ড সাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰিবা বুলি আশা কৰিলো okay thank you everyone and goodbye